Welcome to Sharing Stories. My name is Marlene Christine Hurd, your host, and Sharing Stories is a show where we educate communities around issues facing today and what people are doing to make a difference in finding solutions. Today, Sharing Stories is interviewing Elena Strader, who is a former two-term Democratic delegate in Assemblymember District 18, which is Assemblymember Ron Bonta, and she's in Congresswoman Margaret Lee's congressional district. Elena continues to find solutions and engages community interest and involvement, and I know that for a fact. So, Elena, we know you're here today, and we want to welcome you to Sharing Stories.
Thank you, Marlene. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
So, Elena, when we spoke about this happening, I was really excited about bringing you on the show because I didn't know anything about this delegate process, and I know we're going to be educating viewers on how to become a delegate in the Democratic Party. Oh my goodness. How did you get involved with all this?
Well, it started when I ran in Central Valley,
All right.
Assembly District 25.
Mm-hmm.
It was a red city,
Okay.
red. They may have had a few blue dots, but it was red.
Mm-hmm.
So I educated myself, because I'm a self-taught person, on how to become a delegate.
Okay.
Now, grant you, it was a lot of obstacles there because I didn't have anyone to train me how to become a delegate. I didn't have anyone that was knowledgeable and experienced to show me how to become, what all is involved, and what I had to do next. So, what I did, I thought about when I ran for the American Postal Workers Union, Local 78, I ran to become the president. That was an experience that I would never, ever forget.
Wow.
So as a result of gaining that knowledge on how to run, I put that together when I ran in this red state, Assembly District, red state. And the awesome part about that, I was the new kid on the block, and I received 83% of the vote.
Wow.
Now, let me show you how obstacles came in the way. Originally, the convener said the voting poll, where we go to vote, not like we do with the voter registration, because they find venues to set up for the voting process. Originally, they said the voting poll is going to be at this place. So I made up my flyers, passed them out. In Central Valley, it's Save Mark. Here is Safeway. So I'm standing out of Save Mark and Walmart and J.C. Penney's and just encouraging people to come and vote because you live in my district. Here was this big obstacle. They changed the location of the voting place 2 weeks before the voting. And I'm going like, oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So they wind up moving it to McHenry Bowling Alley. So I'm going like, well, I know what I'll do. Because a lot of people was bowling that day. I went out there with my flyer. I said, please take a little time and come and vote for me. Come and vote for me. I'm running for Democratic delegate. A few of them came in and voted. As well as, the members that was there to vote for other candidates. Because it's an amount of people you can vote for, 83% of the vote.
My gosh.
So, because I was faced with some obstacles, I said, I wonder how many people know about how they can run to become a delegate. And then I looked back at my experience and what I encountered, and I said, I'm going to start a training to educate the community on how to become a delegate to the Democratic Party.
And that is the reason why I wanted to bring you on the show, because I didn't even know about it,
And the-
let alone what is a Democratic delegate.
Exactly.
I knew nothing about this process. So I want you to talk about who's eligible to run.
Only the Democratic voters
Okay.
that live in your assembly district
Okay.
are eligible to run.
All right. And then in many election races, there are a number of positions in the same seats. How many seats?
Well, now that
For a
they just increased the number because they had an executive meeting down in LA
Okay.
this month. So now it's 14, and it's divided equally, 7 men and 7 women.
Okay. Now, Elena, I keep hearing you talk about the executive committee. What exactly is that?
Well, the executive committee is almost like, I look at it like a mini convention where the executive members meet and they discuss, what they're going to endorse, what they're going to support. They really talk about the business of the party,
Okay.
But in the process of becoming a delegate, because that's another meet of the party, and when you're new, I really don't want to fill a new delegate head with all the meat of the party. I really want them to understand the simple process of running,
Okay.
how to run, and how to win,
Okay.
and what to do afterwards.
And now that you brought that up, how do you get elected? I mean, how do you get people to vote for you?
Well, good question, Merlene. You network with the community, like I shared with you when I ran in that red assembly district. Develop you some flyers, network with your social group, with your church members, network with organizations you may be affiliated with. If you're on any commissioner's board, you can network with those board members. Long as they live in your district,
Okay.
they can vote for
As
you.
long as they live in your district.
Long as they live in your district.
Okay, so what if a voter doesn't know who is their assembly district?
Well, they can do 2 things. They can either go on the state, Secretary of State website, sos.ca.gov, or they can Google their congressman, or either go to the yellow pages, get the phone number, and call your congressperson.
Okay, so now I want to talk about the Democratic Convention. And I know that that's an exciting part.
Oh, it really
okay,
is.
Of becoming a delegate.
Yes, it
Can you
is.
talk more about that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, that is one of the things that delegates do.
Okay.
They attend conventions. Now, because I'm already a high energy person, the energy at the conventions are so high. With me, you have to peel me off the ceiling. I mean, you have an opportunity to really meet a lot of the elected officials. You understand the voting process of the endorsing and endorsing proposition and measures, as well as endorsing statewide candidates and congressional candidates.
Okay.
So you understand the process of that. They have 9 committees. You have your affirmative action committee, you have your credential committee, you have your finance committee, which I was a member of the finance committee, you have your organizational committee, you have your rules committee, you have your resolution committee, you have your platform committee, you have your voter service, and you have your legislative committee.
Wow. All those.
So within the Democratic Party,
Yes.
and let's not forget the caucuses.
And the caucuses too.
They have 16 to 19 caucuses. Now, the African American Caucus, which I am the director of the African American Caucus in the northern area. So because they have so many caucus, they have the LBGT, they have the Women Caucus, they have the Disability Caucus, they have the Latino Caucus. I would say almost every nationality they have a caucus. So the party platform is so large, you have a lot to do when you become a delegate. The thing about becoming a delegate with going to the convention is, are you going to become a delegate for the conventions? Or are you going to become a delegate because you want to get in there and learn all the political process and how to get involved, how to endorse, how to help candidates that are running so you can come back and bring it to the community?
Now, in our talking about the process, you talked about resolutions.
Good point. And that's one of the committees that I just mentioned about resolution. And like I said earlier, I'm a self-taught person. So once when I became a delegate, and due to the fact that when I retired in 2003, I became a real estate agent. Then I went to take the test to become a real estate broker. So with the market crashing the way it did, and a lot of people was losing property, a lot of people was not getting the loan modification, and we spent time and months on transactions because the bank process was so long. So I took that experience and I wrote a resolution. So my resolution that was adopted in 2009 was talking about the lender's process of modification. You know, we need to like condense the time frame of approving modification. So that's one of the tools in becoming a delegate that delegates can really learn how to do when they look in their community and they see things that languages or policies or procedures that are already in place that's not being effective in the community. This is one way where you can resurrect that policy and procedure by ways of resolution.
So the name of that resolution was Another Step for Healing Our Foreclosure Crisis.
That was the name of the resolution, another
Okay.
step for healing our foreclosure crisis. Exactly.
And it was adopted and approved by the State Democratic
Exactly.
Party.
And it had to be sponsored by your central committee, or then I read their bylaws, and in some cases your club. And once again, that was another obstacle, Merlene, because
Okay.
when I wrote this resolution, no one told me that it had to get sponsored. So the meeting had already was taking place. It was over with before I had to submit this resolution to the state party. And guess what? I was living in Central Valley, and the next meeting of the Central Committee, I had to drive all the way to the Calaveras County.
Wow. You know what, Elena? I admire you for your dedication
Thank you,
and
Merlene.
determination,
Thank
because
you.
even in the midst of adversity, you still triumphed.
Yes,
You still rose above.
yes.
And you didn't let it stop you.
And it was by the grace of God, really.
It-
Because in the human part of it, is no way, when all those obstacles jump out, it was no way, the average person would have went, forget it. It's not important. But I seen that obstacle, I seen that enemy, and I'm going like, it just, to me, it just rises me to another level.
So, Elena, I want you to talk about this event, when it's happening, why it's happening, and give them the information on where they can go to get
Sure.
it.
This event on how to become a delegate is going to be December the 5th,
Okay.
which is the first Friday in December,
Okay.
at Emory Unified School District, located at 1275 61st Street in Emeryville,
Okay.
from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Okay.
Of course, we're going to have refreshments because we know a lot of people is going to be getting off from work. And our keynote speaker is State Controller Betty Yee. And we're going to have a panel discussion, and we're going to show some brief videos, and we're going to be sharing more information on everything else that's involved in becoming a delegate, like the filing process.
Now I want to shift into talking about the importance in getting our youth and our up and coming future into this type of training.
Well, and I'm glad that's a good one, because I find with the Democratic Party, not just with the Democratic Party, and other social and organizations and on the commissioner's board, we do not embrace our young generation enough.
Okay.
In some cases, we may invite them in, but we do not take the time to hold their hand until they are comfortable and familiar with what all is needed to be done. Because it's more to do with being a delegate than just going to a convention. So we have not reached out enough to our young generation.
So, and I'm really glad to hear that, because I do a lot of work with college students and high school students, and they are so creative. Their energy, their creativity, their drive to make things happen. I mean, that's one of the reasons I think Barack Obama got elected.
Exactly.
He drew in our youth.
Exactly.
Okay, and I believe that as we engage them more, getting them to the arenas, getting the information they need to be exposed to, we will see more things change
Exactly.
in our communities.
Now, we do have a California Young Dem.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm not familiar with all what they are doing with their organizational group, but I remember a couple of years ago, I did attend one of their events about an endorsement process they was doing, and I would say from what I've observed, they actually have learned, and they actually do the same thing the party does on a platform as a whole.
Okay. Now, Elena, in this process, have you, are there a lot of youth doing this?
No, as a matter of fact, it's not. I have taken this upon myself, like I said earlier, because of my experience that I've learned and the obstacles that I've learned, and so I've taken it upon myself to reach out to the community to train or provide this information on how to become a delegate. When is the filing date? How to network and run? When is the voting time? Well, the deadline to file to become a delegate is December the 11th.
Oh, that's fast approaching.
5 p.m. is the deadline.
Okay.
And the election is January the 10th and 11th,
Wow.
2015. That's right around the corner.
Yes.
I normally start the training around August. I usually try to start it around that time. So I'm just grateful and thankful that the chair of the African American Caucus, his name is Darren Parker, and he's out of the LA area. I'm just grateful that he agreed to host this event because it's very vital, it's very good information, and it's just another pathway of getting involved in the Democratic Party and in the democratic process. And really is rewarding, it really is.
Okay, so as we are about to close the show, can you let viewers know what is the cost to do this delegate work?
Well, the cost for the
Traveling.
coming to the training is free,
Okay.
okay? And one thing about Emory Unified School District, lots of parking,
Okay.
okay? And if you need more information, you can contact me or email me at delegateh, as in Helena, 41 at gmail.com, or you can give me a jingle, 510-895-9783. And also, I wanted to add another point, Marlene, is when you run to become a delegate in your assembly district, and if you don't win, you have two other options that you can become a delegate.
Oh, really?
Like I live in Assemblymember Rob Bonta's district, right? When I run, if I decide to run again, because I ran 2 terms, I would go to Assemblymember Rob Bonta and ask him would he appoint me. What better person to appoint as a delegate is a person like me that reach out into the community, right?
Wow.
So if he have a full list, then I'll go to Congressman Lee
Okay.
and ask her,
Congressman
would
Lee.
she appoint me?
Okay.
So you can go to any of your elected officials to get appointed, or you can also get elected through the Alameda County Central Committee. So you still have other avenues to become a delegate. But I like the fun part is when I run for the voters to come and vote me to become a delegate.
Yeah, I like that part.
I like that too.
And with everything happening from our elections, with the House and the Senate, we need this training, and we need to make that
We really do.
available to our community.
We really do.
Yes. So, well, I'm excited, and
I am too.
I am hoping that the viewers, when this gets on the show and aired, the viewers will see that this is their call to action. This is your call to action that we now have a House and a Senate that's red.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Red,
I'm gonna say
red.
that again. We now have a House and a Senate that's red. This is your call to action. We need to regain our House back.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward for you guys seeing you on the December 5th.
December the 5th.
Okay. And that's
Don't forget
gonna
our
be
keynote speaker.
your keynote speaker is who again?
Yes, State Controller
Betty Yee.
Betty Yee.
Okay. Did you hear that? Betty Yee. So, again, I'm saying this is your call to action. We need you at the table. No more on the menu. Now at the table. We need your voice. We need your God-gifted talents so that you might be that next person sharing story
Yes.
of how I went to this training
Yes.
and won and became a delegate. So in closing, Elena, if you can let the viewers give them your contact information.
The contact information is delegate, DELEGATE, H for Helena, 41 at gmail.com, or 510-895-9783. And remember, December the 5th, the first Friday in December, at Emory Unified School District, located 1275 61st Street. And we hope to see you then.
And this is Marlene Hurd. We want to thank you for watching, and we want to thank Berkeley Community Media for airing, sharing stories, and we want to thank our crew and the African American Caucus
Yes.
for hosting this event. We couldn't do it without you. So we know that you have a story out there, and we want to hear their story. if you feel the urge to want to share it, I'm looking for you. You can reach me at marlene.hurd@yahoo.com, or you can call me at 510-776-0680. Again, that's Marlene, Marlene .Hurd, HURD, @yahoo.com. And we're going to Yahoo when we bring you on the show to share your story of how you became the next delegate in the Democratic Party. Thank you for watching Sharing Stories.
Yahoo.